So I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm dealing with here. Rodney is there. Rodney's here before me, so Rodney's on time. Trey's late. He shows up at 12:01, but I can't even go live before adding Trey because Rodney walks away at 12 o'clock. Right when I'm about to go live, he's like, "Hold on, well, dude, handle up. Like you show up early and then you wind up being late. Like, come on, man. I don't understand these guys. I love them, but I don't understand them. Look like Trey is riding for Floyd today. Anyway, here we are. This
Hey
is
man, it looks dark. Where Trey? You got a different setting? What is that? That does look like the normal.
No, it's been it. Same one that I've had for like a month now.
no, that's the same one that he flexed on us a few episodes ago after he got it remodeled.
It looks like a what you call it? What's her name?
I'm trying to get did that lighten it up some? That better?
Yeah. Oh, bring the house lights up? Oh, another flex. Oh boy. Oh boy.
I got one of them things that you told me about. What's it called? That little round thing?
The ring light?
Yeah. But it's supposed to go right above you. But it can't go in front of this desk unless I got one that went like on the computer or something.
Yeah, I got you. So I understand. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Mom? Shout out to Judy Carter watching us. That's Rodney and his food. I am going to get food also. Food being delivered through Uber Eats. Anybody need an Uber Eats code, let me know. I got 20 off of 25 if you're a new user. 20 off of 25 if you're new. What's up, Wayman Wiley? Hey, everybody who's watching, we're about to let our guest host in, but I just want to introduce us first. I am AC from LA. To my left and your right is Saucier Senior, and below us, Trey Hop. Together, we are the Collective Podcast. This is episode 47, live and direct. The Collective Podcast is live. And
what up, everybody?
Shout out to Boogie Down Productions. I got
Yes,
the RS1.
Mr.
There's my man, AC number 2.
Cobbs X.
What up? He's
Board man gets paid.
There's a Saints helmet back there.
Hey, man.
Well traveled, man.
I have an Uber Eats app on my phone. Does that mean I don't qualify for that discount?
Have you used it already?
It says get started. I've never used it.
So no, it doesn't mean that, but just make sure that once you do log in, you put that code I gave you, the code with our name in it.
My man.
Not the first one I gave you. Make sure you use the one with Anthony.
I'm gonna use it today on some Habit. Get some salads and some burgers.
The Habit Burger Grill.
My favorite spot.
Rodney and I love that place.
We need to go ahead and put some money in some Habit stock and drive it up like they did GameStop. Get rich and eat chicken sandwiches all at the same time.
That's
the plan.
That's really what we need to do.
That's the plan.
And the Habit is not expensive. That's the cool part about it. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not expensive at all.
And the best chocolate shakes. Lord Jesus.
I never had one.
Oh my goodness.
So that's not delivered. So on my end, the best chocolate shake is the chocolate shake never prepared because I don't like chocolate shakes. But Judy Carter used to love chocolate shakes. So, Mom, I don't know. You still like chocolate shakes? If so, you should try the Habit.
Is a school bus yellow? Yes. Is a school bus yellow? Yeah, one.
Now, shout out to Wayman Wiley who's watching us. So listen, for me, my favorite shake of all time was the vanilla shake at Jack in the Box when we were growing up.
That was
before they went to real ice cream, whatever they call it, which was a long time ago. But growing up, boy, that, and then my dad would get I think at Jack in the Box they called it apple turnover. I
I used to be scared to give vanilla shakes. They say if you drink vanilla shakes, you end up with a white woman.
Well, let me tell you, that didn't happen to my dad, and it didn't happen to me. So
Get your chocolate shake so you have you a sister when you grow up.
Shooting it down. Shooting it down. Vanilla shake and chocolate sister, in fact. So now what?
And you debunked the myth.
Debunked the myth.
Breakfast back in the day.
Shit program.
They had this thing called the scrambled egg pocket. Way back in the day, man. That hurt my feelings.
It sounds like a hot pocket.
That hurt my feelings, man.
It sounds like a hot pocket. It comes with toilet paper.
So if we're taking it back in my swine days, I used to love the Supreme croissant at Jack in the Box. It had all the pork, and kind of secret sauce, and the double egg. Oh my goodness! And boy, we got that like maybe once a month. You got the Jack in the Box run once a month to get the Supreme croissant in the morning. Thanks, Mom.
Man, I gotta get you back on the pig.
No, never going back to the pig.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hey, this is my is that right? This is my 30-year anniversary off the pig. 1991. 1990 March, my birthday.
What Red Fox say? No bacon, no hog maws, no fat back, no strickling. He said no chitlins.
Yeah, none of that. All right, episode 47 of the Collective Podcast. We are live. We are welcoming in our regular, shout out to Sid, regular guest host, Anthony Cobbs, aka T Cobbs.
Yes, sir.
Yo.
Appreciate y'all job turkeys letting me on the show, man. It's a good little lunch break change up because I'm tired of my little. Let me see if my coworkers on Facebook. Make sure they're not on here. I'm tired of these Zoom meetings, man. Oh man. Oh God, it's driving me nuts. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, well, my food delivery has questions, so I had to respond to him. What's up, James Montgomery? Wow, James Montgomery. Okay, we really stretching this out. All right, so anyway, thank you all for watching the Collective Podcast live. This is episode 47, and if you are watching a replay, thank you. If you are listening to a replay on one of the DSPs, including but not limited to Spotify, Anchor, Apple Music, and the like, thank you. We appreciate you. All right. And if you're viewing, let us know where we can see if you're on Facebook or on YouTube or on LinkedIn, but let us know where you're checking in from. Judy Carter, where you checking in from? Wayman Wiley, where you checking in from? James Montgomery, where you checking in from? Unknown people who haven't commented yet, say hi to us and let us know where you're checking in from. All right. Appreciate you. All right. So is there any update on, damn, I don't want to say his name again, Chad Wheeler?
Only that he's been released on bond and he's just waiting for his court date. But you know, his girlfriend is already saying, well, he was off his meds and he's such a sweet guy. I don't want anything bad to happen to him. I mean, it's already unfolding.
Oh wow.
Oh no.
Nice little payday for her, huh? I ain't getting
already unfolding.
Can't get choked out for $1.
Just tragic.
That is
he came out with some kind of apology saying he apologizes to the team and to her family, and he's going to get the help he needs, and he really is truly sorry. And you know, he just had a episode, and the girlfriend is saying, well, he's bipolar and he's got these medical issues. So when someone tells you they're bipolar or you see certain things, why do you get into a relationship like that? And I'm just throwing that question out there.
No, don't say it, because if somebody's bipolar, they deserve to be in a relationship with somebody as well as anybody else. However,
and when I say us, I mean everyone. When we see red flags, we just don't pay attention or just ignore them. You know,
like, you can't ignore a person not taking their medication. Like, medication is in place for a reason. If it's given by a doctor and you're supposed to take it to control the way that you function, you have to take it.
Take heed to red.
I think the hope is that love will conquer all, and that doesn't always happen. Well, it doesn't conquer all, but a lot of times we feel that it will. And you may be so deep into something, Rod. Let's go with it. You may be so deep into something that by the time those red flags hit, you feel like you can overcome them, whatever they may be. And I don't know anything about this situation. Oh, okay. He didn't like what kind of musical? How'd you do that? How did you switch places, Rod? That's pretty.
He got disconnected. He's magical. He's magical.
Rod?
Rod you don't got.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm glad Trey, I'm glad that you had a counterpoint, because I mean, there's someone for everyone.
But this guy right here, man, I mean, I agree love conquers all, but he's gonna beat her again. Like, in this time she will be dead.
Exactly.
So we keep slapping people on the hand when we know the same outcome for a brother would not be as such. So I just know the system is set up the way it's set up for this. And it's unfortunate that he will get to go back to life as usual as if it didn't happen. And she is so insecure and stuck in the relationship she's in, she would believe it's love and that she is doing the right thing, she thinks. And it's just sad, man. Somebody needs to intervene.
Yeah. He's sorry till he's not sorry.
Sorry because he got caught.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Well, and I've had different women in my family that's been physically abused, and that's why I hate to see it. Like, this is a sore spot for me. But one thing my dad always taught me growing up is, like, when something is going on like that, stay out of the middle. You know, don't try to break up a fight. Call the police. My dad tried to intervene on someone's behalf, and when he pulled the person off of her, she pulled a knife on my dad and said, "Get your hands off my man."
But she didn't pull a knife on the dude that was beating her.
No.
Yeah.
No. And he was trying to help her from dying. I mean, like, she was getting the snot beat out of her. So he taught me, hey, man, just call the police. Don't try to be a hero. Don't try to intervene. You hate to see it happen, but
battered women syndrome.
Yeah. They sometimes just, I know some women can't leave because of finances and they feel like they have no place to go. Some of them, have, broken bridges with their family members to be with this person and feel like, well, he's abusing me now, and now I can't go back to my family because I pushed him aside. And to that, all I'm gonna say is you can always go back to your family.
Always.
She getting bad counsel, because couldn't she somehow get some money out of this if she left him?
Well, she can get money by just not testifying with his lawyer and just say, "Hey, look,
I need a settlement.
I won't say anything, and I'll play dumb on the stand, but you need to make sure that I'm well compensated."
Oh, that's what she's doing now. If she's backpedaling at all, then that's what she's doing now.
Because she backpedaled from the beginning. So I hope that's what she did. I mean, if you're going to get the screws beat off you, you at least need to be compensated for each blow.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be with a person after that, like, especially in the public eye. Like, if she's walking around with him, like, again, like, what does that say?
Well, Ray Rice married his. Still together. Oh, well, AC said love conquers all, but I don't think.
I thought Ray Rice would have been on the team by now.
No, they treat Ray Rice like Kaepernick.
Yeah.
too much information out there that we're gonna have this backlash from them fans and the sponsors. So we don't want this woman beater, and we don't want this activist on our team. But we'll take this guy who almost killed his black girlfriend. He's rehabbed. He's better now. He's a good person.
And they'll start throwing mental health memes all over Facebook and social media. Saying mental health is real and giving a way out. You know, like if you see someone is bipolar and they have erratic behavior, boyfriend or not, you need to get away. Seriously.
And when they look back on what they were arguing over, because I don't even know what they were Ray Rice, but they were arguing over that during that time. They probably look back and say, you know what? Our life is like this because of that. And it was probably nothing.
Well, Solange beat up Jay-Z. Nobody said nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Beat the brakes off him in an elevator on camera.
Yeah.
Take these hands, Jay-Z. And Beyonce just said, you shouldn't have said nothing.
Yeah.
I told you.
But like when she said, like same thing she said, when it's $1 billion on an elevator, a whole lot of stuff is different. A whole lot of stuff is different.
It hit different when there's billions on there.
Yeah, billionaire. Now let it be some hundredaires.
Well, we're talking about Wheeler is a thousandaire, so I'm thinking he really, really is going to be panicking about his money because he's expendable and his money is not long. Those guys' money ain't long. The myth about football players that everybody's a millionaire, and they're not.
Yeah.
It's like 5 dudes per team. Everybody else is a thousandaire, and you check to check because you live in a lifestyle you can't afford when you're done playing. So that's where it gets real thick. So in a legal battle of this magnitude, all his little chump change you got in the bank is going to be gone. Yeah. His little signing bonus is going to be gone. Yeah. So it's going to get real thick real quick.
No endorsements, and that's where the big money comes. Endorsements.
Yeah. And I don't think mental health is going to be paying that much.
So 2 comments we had on Ray Rice. First, Wayman said in response to what you guys were talking about. Wayman mentioned that Rodney's game was declining, of course, because Rodney's game's been on the decline for about 100 years. But Ray Rice's game was declining when it happened, and then Dietrich followed up.
He was peaking.
A similar sentiment about Ray Rice.
But he was still good enough to play 3 more years.
Oh, definitely.
So with sponsorship and salary, that's millions he lost out on.
He had a couple of endorsements too. I remember seeing him on a Subway commercial.
Yeah.
So what we want everyone to do that hasn't already done it, A, tell us where you're checking in from, and then B, go ahead and like the podcast or love it, give it a thumbs up or a heart. You know, go ahead and do some work. But yeah, let us know where you're checking in from. We know Wayman's in Carson, California, and then Dietrich and James, Montgomery. You can never just say I've never called you James. I think I just call you Montgomery. So if I say James, I have to follow it with your last name. James Montgomery and Dietrich checking in from Gardena. And then we're all somewhere in Southern California hidden away. At some point, I want us to get together. And if we monetize this thing, we're gonna have to be in the same room. So we'll figure that out because I know that's gonna be something. Hey, Keith Lester's back out in Laurel, Maryland.
What's up, big dog?
Shout out. All right, so we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl, but let's go with the NBA first. So you heard it here first that if the Lakers fell to Detroit, that they would probably drop in the power rankings. And not that anybody really cares about the power rankings other than me, but they did drop all the way down to number 2. And then the Clippers moved up to number 1, and the Clippers dropped a game that same night. The Clippers fell. Who beat the Clippers?
The Nets, the toughest team in the league when they own.
Yeah, so after the toughest team in the league lost to the Pistons, the fake toughest team in the league beat the other fake toughest team in LA. You had the Nets over the Clippers, and then the Nets lost again. So this is all fun. And then Washington's hot and cold. I like Bradley Beal, but have y'all checked out Kamaya Adams Bell? Bradley, why am I saying Bell? Bradley Beal And have you checked out Kamaya Adams Beal, who is his wife and who rides for him? She is on Twitter lighting motherfuckers up constantly. I like her.
Really?
What'd you say?
What's she been saying?
Well, she just points out that, certain things like, oh, he does these things when nobody is there, and then now you got Russ there, and he's still doing these things. He's doing all he can to help his team win, and he personally is not complaining about being there. And now he has the 17-game streak to start a season with 25 plus points. So he surpassed Jordan with the 17th time that he did it. And then some people seem to think that he doesn't play defense, which is something that we've talked about here before. He's a really good defender.
Yeah,
and so he's a complete player. And it's weird. But she is never afraid to say anything. And the beautiful part about it for me is that I feel like she's talking in fact. So she's not just like riding for a bum ass husband or blindly riding for him.
You should take Harden's words and say, hey, they're just not good enough.
Yeah.
That's just what it comes down to.
Yeah.
So with these adjustments and power rankings, Paul George, I guess, had a lot to say. He's still claiming that the Clippers are the team to beat.
Yeah, Paul George became the Black Rodney Dangerfield. But tell us about it, Rod, because he said he gets no respect. Tell us about it.
Now, with him saying he's the team to beat, Jared Dudley comes out and says, well, we could take that if Kawhi was saying it, but it's Paul George.
Right. I'm still looking at the shot bounce off the
talk. He doesn't get to talk.
Jared Dudley got a lot of nerve.
Hey, but Dudley got more rings.
Wait,
Dudley got more rings.
But I could beat Jared Dudley.
But Kyle,
now.
But don't do that, because you're still an athlete. So let's not discount your ability.
Look like the garbage man.
But hold on. But doesn't that make it more compelling if Jared Dudley is saying, "Hey, Paul, you and I are equal. I'm not LeBron and you're not Kawhi."
I'm saying just because Jared Dudley got fat on his armpits, like Jared Dudley got fat. Like when you see Jared Dudley running down the court, it makes me mad. When I see him when he gets in the game, I get mad.
You get mad?
Yeah, it makes me mad that a unathletic poser gets to talk trash about Paul George. Well, Paul George has taken two teams to the Eastern Conference Finals, came up short, is top 10 whenever he's on the last I don't know how many years, and he had a playoff pandemic P moment. I think PG-13 went wrong when he named himself Playoff P. If he'd have kept quiet, kept playing hard, say he had a little depression in the bubble, would have been a lot more lenient to his shortcomings. But since he named himself Playoff P and he did not perform, now you just need to be quiet till you win a championship. Jared Dudley got a lot of nerve. He's led nobody nowhere. I'm not sure how Jared Dudley got in the league. Where did he play college ball?
Jared Dudley couldn't lead him out of the tunnel, huh?
Yeah, Jared Dudley. I mean, he can shoot, but shut up. Shut up.
Can he shoot? I mean, we haven't seen him take a shot in a long time.
You can be able to shoot the three.
Let me tell you, when he makes the three, he got everybody on the team doing his little three dance. Put the hand here, going down the court.
He's gonna need to put a little cocoa butter on his lip and get rid of those stretch marks under his mustache, because
I don't know who needs to shut up more.
Fat burgers.
I don't know who needs to shut up more.
Professional to show up like that.
Dick Vermeil or Jared Dudley need to shut up. And Brett Favre need to shut up. All these guys need to shut up. Have you heard what Dick Vermeil said?
What is Dick Vermeil saying? Something about the Eagles?
He said black play. Well, he didn't say it like that. He just said if Deshaun Watson don't like it, he need to buy himself a team.
Players shouldn't talk about general manager and coaching decisions. They need to just stay on the field and play football.
Otherwise, buy a team.
Right. And if you want to make decisions or have input, you need to buy your own team and say what you want.
Now we're getting into a racial debate because we can't buy a team.
Right.
We put together a money trust. We couldn't buy a team.
And Brett Favre went so far as to say about the same thing, basically. You know,
Yeah, he said we get so much money, we don't have an opinion. I was like, are you kidding me?
That's nonsense. That's nonsense.
I said, it's just the opposite. My man sees this as a racial undertone happening at the top. Y'all wasting my good years of my life. I have a little bit of leverage. I played my butt off with no help. Get me up out of here, James Harden style.
Yeah.
Even if Deshaun Watson doesn't give input on who's coming in, he shouldn't see his star receiver being traded through social media. I mean, that's blatant disrespect. No one can call you and be professional and say, hey, you know what? We know that's your boy, but we had to trade him because for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I mean, just common
in your professionalism. You have no more targets.
just professionalism. I'm one who believes that when you run a business, you need to keep the people who are central figures to that business. You need to keep them happy.
Yep.
I said the same thing when Death Row Records was out, and I was hearing about all the fights up at the studio to get
Rodney. Rodney, that's
I'm like,
Suge. That is Rodney talking about Suge.
I'm like, hey, if you don't keep no one else happy, keep Dr. Dre happy.
Makes sense to me.
You got to keep Dr. Dre happy wherever he is.
And if he would have stayed, he'd have been shot next.
Yeah.
No telling.
You worth more money dead.
Yeah.
No telling.
Off topic. My bad, Carter. Back to Jared Dudley and his
Hold
fat
on.
cheek.
It's okay. Pause that. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a podcast to step 2. Think of how many week shows you slept through. Time's up. Sorry I kept you. Yo, we back. Episode 47. What up? Yeah. All right, so back to Jared Dudley. So it's funny to me because obviously we know Paul George is one of the top players in the association. And we know that I'm on record saying I wanted Paul George to come to the Lakers. Although, as things turned out, and I also wanted Kawhi, but as things turned out, I could live with it. I'm not saying I wanted that duo over the duo that we have, but I marvel at LeBron, but I wasn't pushing for LeBron to come. But who am I to ever go against anything that Irvin Magic Johnson has to say when it comes to business? That dude is a genius, and he said he wanted LeBron. All right, Magic, I want him too. All right, boom.
I think Magic should get more credit than he's got, because he went away like as soon as Magic left, the building was a wrap. Rob Pelinka's a genius. I was like, if LeBron don't come, none of this happens.
Right. Yeah. Rob Pelinka only did the deal that Magic already had in place. That's what people don't talk about. He did what Magic was doing in the first place. He traded half the team for AD. And
didn't he dry snitch that Magic don't come to work? Yeah, Magic doesn't even come to work every day. I don't know how's that work. I'm like,
well, here's the thing.
He put in he sent his order to his assistant. You was his assistant.
But here's the other thing. This is what you talk about, the vision of Irvin Magic Johnson. The vision to work remotely as president of basketball operations.
Now we're doing it
pre-pandemic. Look at Rob, you're not a forward thinker.
You got to think forward. That's the same thing happening in education. We had a little meeting yesterday about how this new world order of online education is what they've been crying about for a long time. Oh, now you have free laptops. Oh, now you have free Wi-Fi. Oh, now you want to distance learning and do virtual meetings, and we don't have to drive up to the district office and waste our time. Yeah. All this stuff that we're getting now, a lot of this stuff's going to stay permanent. Makes more sense.
Yeah, I can dig it. I think that I want you guys, educators, to be as comfortable as possible so that you guys can be as invigorated as possible, so that you can be as motivational as possible, so that our students can thrive.
You better keep preaching.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe one of you guys I don't want to be comfortable. And you guys know my guy. I won't say his name this time, but my guy who's the sub in Compton. Dude, I don't want him to be comfortable. I need him to go in, and I need him to like
even feel the fire.
I need him to do some continuing education. I need him to recertify. I don't know if he's sitting on an emergency credential or not.
Hey, you niggas, turn your cameras on. That's what he say on the Zoom. Oh, you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny when I listen to people like Brett Favre. You know, there's so much that people like Brett Favre don't have to worry about. You know, and nobody speaks on that aspect. They're gonna make sure they have somebody for Brett Favre to throw to. You know, or the media will put pressure on the front office for him, like they did with Aaron Rodgers. No one said anything about, hey, you know what? They really need to find a new receiver to replace DeAndre Hopkins. But as soon as Sterling Sharp retired with a neck injury, they said, hey, we got to get somebody else in there for Brett Favre. He needs weapons.
Brett Favre needs his butt whooped because he's the one that told his star receiver before he left Green Bay to not ask for more money, to hang around on the last year of his contract, and he tore his ACL.
Right.
And then their boys out the league. So you can't speak on another man's money. You can't speak on another man's situation. You ain't in his shoes, especially when you slanging Wrangler jeans and you're privileged like Brett Favre. You can slang copper fit knee braces and live off of, you know, endorsements because you're a good old, you know, undercover Trump supporter. Well, we got Deshaun Watson playing for one. So I just think some guys need to stay in their lane and speak on what they are directly connected to. I don't think Brett Favre and Dick Vermeil and all these folks that got something to say are even connected to what Deshaun Watson's going through.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for that. Both of you. Going back to what Rod said, it's deeper than that. Hey, anybody that just joined, thank you for joining the episode 47 of the Collective Podcast. Please go ahead and like us, like give us a thumbs up, give us a heart, and then also let us know where you're checking in from. Let us know where you're checking in from. I think I scared somebody away because we went from X number to X -1. Building on what you said, Rod, it's deeper than they didn't give a replacement receiver for Hopkins. It's much worse than that. They got rid of Hopkins.
Right.
like we're talking about Sterling Sharp retiring versus DeAndre Hopkins being invited to leave.
Walk out.
Like, and he didn't skip a beat or miss a beat.
Right. 33 touchdowns, 7
picks. Houston absolutely did.
And throwing 70% of you completing 70% of your passes and throwing for almost 5,000 yards with no receivers.
And running for your life.
Come on, man. With a bad offensive coordinator and coach.
Did you find something?
Not yet.
Well, I had a Rams fan try to come at me the other day negatively. And he said, man, Deshaun Watson gonna come replace Jimmy G. Well, first of all, I am a 49er fan, and I want the 49ers to do well. I feel like we're due another Super Bowl, and so I'd like for us to go get it. And if Deshaun Watson wins the quarterback competition, which he likely would against Jimmy Garoppolo, then more power to the 49ers for having the foresight to bring Deshaun Watson to San Francisco. That's not a bad thing. And I said, and, you know, I think that because Matthew Stafford wound up in Los Angeles, he thought, and I said something about it. I said, congratulations on this. Maybe he thought I was taking a shot at him. But I said, no, Stafford is an established quarterback who just never has enough tools. And we'll see what happens. You know, I think that they consider some people to be geniuses in the Rams organization before they were actually geniuses. And I think it's clear that they're not geniuses, but you guys have to work with what you have to work with. And I think that one thing that the Rams are doing in this regime is getting rid of people who are, well, on the field, getting rid of people who are not performing like their contracts say they should, whether that be Todd Gurley or your boy Marcus Peters or Jared Goff. And I don't know if there's anybody else that's on the chopping block, but I wasn't saying Matthew Stafford was a downgrade. Like, here's the other thing. You got rid of the Jared Goff contract. You had to give up some picks, but you got rid of that horrible contract. And boy, if you could just get Rancho Cucamonga's own Marvin Jones to come to the Rams, then from Detroit, and Stafford would have his running mate. So that would be nice, right?
Cucamonga's own. Yeah, buddy. Well, yeah. I saw a positive thing about the Stafford trade. Darius Slay, who played with Matt Stafford for many years in Detroit, says LA is getting a dog. Now, when I hear a teammate say that, that kind of stamps it for me. When you label somebody a dog at a position that's not a dog, where a quarterback's supposed to be, leader, finesse, but he said the Rams are getting a dog. I'm happy for my boy. And I was like, okay, now I'm on the seat, because I ain't seen no dog in Detroit. I saw a guy who was running for his life, throwing for 5,000 yards a year, but not winning nothing. So I want to see how he pans out. And I would have to say, if you guys in San Francisco do get Deshaun Watson, you're in the Super Bowl. It's that cut and clear how good Deshaun Watson is in comparison to Garoppolo. Garoppolo is a gun shy. Garoppolo is Jared Goff right now. Just a talent, but scared talent. And I think San Francisco would really benefit from having Deshaun Watson.
Well, and I appreciate that. And listen, I feel like we're in the Super Bowl with Jimmy, but I feel like we can punch that 6 ticket. Well, we just left.
Jimmy's done.
We just left, and then everybody got injured. But I know Deshaun Watson is an upgrade. Listen to what I'm saying. I think that we are assured victory.
You said competition. Ain't no competition. Deshaun Watson is that much better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But you know how they announce quarterback competition.
Yeah.
Like they did in Philly, quarterback competition.
That's the competition. I think that's a little bit closer. I'll take Deshaun Watson over Wentz and Hurts.
Yeah, trade them both in a minute.
You can have them both. That's how good Deshaun Watson is.
Luckily for us,
and we would feel like we
want either of them. So. But let's go back to this, because I feel like you're cursing at me, Dietrich. What in the fuck does Brandon Cooks have to do with DeAndre Hopkins? Are you trying to compare them?
Yeah.
The devil's advocate fired. Like, what are you talking about?
You brought in concussion away from retirement Cooks.
Cooks has been bounced around more than
another one the Rams got rid of.
The Rams paid him too much and got him up out of there too.
Another contract the Rams got rid of. You stop it, Dietrich. I usually like what you say.
He's trolling you.
I don't know what you throwing spaghetti at the ball.
He's trolling you.
What do you hope doesn't happen, Wayman? You hope that Deshaun Watson doesn't come to San Francisco? Why? You want him to go to Las Vegas? Why, Wayman? What's up? You want him to go to Las Vegas?
I heard that over. The Raiders don't. The Raiders would probably be better with him. I think he's an upgrade over Derek Carr, but Derek Carr is adequate enough to actually help the Raiders win. They need a defense and a running game.
So hold on, Rod. I don't want to mute you, so I'm just gonna give you the opportunity to be quiet. So he said adequate enough. And I think that's the Raiders mentality. It used to be just win, baby. Now it's just be adequate. That's too bad, Las Vegas Raider fans, because I don't want to just be adequate. All right, go back, Rod. You may continue.
Well, when I say adequate, you don't have to be the top quarterback in the game to win a Super Bowl. Everybody wants that top quarterback, but you can be above average and still win a Super Bowl.
Got to have an excellent defense.
Yeah. You have to have all the moving parts.
Allegedly. It's been a while since that happened, but
Derek Carr hasn't had anyone to throw to besides Waller.
You don't have to be the top quarterback. You just have to be playing better than the top quarterback at that time.
Well, here's the thing. We went a year ago, and Jimmy wasn't the top quarterback, but he was top 10.
And he cost y'all the Super Bowl.
And we lost. We lost to the top quarterback. So I don't know that you don't have to be the top quarterback. to win. But I can't get what you're saying.
Shanahan ran the ball on 3rd and long multiple times. He didn't trust Garoppolo to throw the football.
3rd and 18. Run the ball.
Run that joke up, man.
This what we're doing? We having a laugh?
You brought it up. They went to the Super Bowl. Nobody remembered. I had to remember, who did the Chiefs beat? Oh, the Niners.
You had to remember.
I couldn't remember who the Chiefs beat in the Super Bowl.
Oh man, we had the best record in the league. Stop it.
Yeah, undercover. That was like the Steelers 11-0. We were like, who'd y'all beat?
No, we beat the Seahawks twice, buddy.
Yeah, now we see what the Seahawks really are. We saw that this year. The Seahawks suspect.
Well, this year's Seahawks were not last year's Seahawks.
Yeah, but now we're seeing both of them teams are like. So y'all can move into the couch of the Eagles.
How many games did the Eagles win, Rodney? What is this dude talking about?
I know we suck this year.
Yeah,
You're talking about y'all.
We had a lot of injuries. I don't want to do this.
You talking about Garoppolo going to take us back to the Super Bowl? That's just unrealistic. Garoppolo is done. He's a backup the rest of his career.
Dietrich, so Dietrich, what I want you to do is take your time to type out why they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. I don't care who they brought in to replace him.
Did they ever say why? O'Brien just didn't like him?
He probably felt like, oh, long term, we can't re-sign him. I don't know. That's usually
you got to get something back for that, though.
Yeah, so Dietrich has researched this because Dietrich knows why he hates a whole bunch of teams.
We see what happens when you don't re-sign your when you don't re-sign your generational talent. I mean, just ask the Raiders pass rush.
Yeah, Dietrich. Listen, they know, like they know that if not for the injuries, then it would have been the Garoppolo versus Brady, New England Patriots former quarterback showdown in the NFC title game. They know it's okay. We got Eagles fans and Raider fans. That's all it is. Don't worry about it.
At least we got real injuries. We have practice squad receivers.
Real injuries? You're saying the 49ers didn't have real injuries, George Kittle?
No, you did. But you had
everybody. 94% of the Super Bowl starters were injured this season, dog. Come on.
I'm not messing with you, man. Nobody cares about the Niners and the Eagles right now. I'm about the Chiefs and the Bucks.
I forgot who was in the Super Bowl. All right, so Chiefs and Buccaneers. All right.
Well, who's got who?
Well, I said the Chiefs will win it, right? So I still have them. I didn't have the Bucks in there, but I will still go with the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Give me the.
What you guys are gonna find out in like 10 years is that it was Eric Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes calling the plays. You're gonna find that out later. Like it's a bigger it's a bigger twist than you guys thought, where you thought it was Andy Reid calling it for Bieniemy, but it's really Bieniemy and Mahomes. You guys gonna find that out, and he's gonna get that second one right now.
These are Andy Reid's plays that Eric Bieniemy's calling them.
So the Chiefs win, but I think Tampa's gonna strike first.
What does that mean, Trey? What is your better slip play? What is Trey's better slip play? Because you know, Trey. What did you bet, Trey?
What did he just say? Good Lord, that was loaded.
The Chiefs win, but Tampa's gonna score first.
All right, what you betting on a coin toss too?
Yep.
He probably does. Hey, so listen, let me tell you, I was at a Super Bowl. I forgot what number, but it was Chicago and Indianapolis. And so I think you guys know that I went to UCLA, and so I'm obviously a Bruin fan, but I'm a lifelong Miami Hurricanes fan. And so seeing Devin Hester return that opening kickoff was kind of dope because, you know, he was doing that thing for
a little bit.
For Chicago, right?
Kind of dope.
And then, but to see the Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith, like it was just, I got chills like so many times throughout that entire weekend. But to see Devin Hester return, and then to see so many, you know, of the Indianapolis greats do what they needed to do. Reggie Wayne from the U. Edgerrin James, all of that. It was a great situation. It was a lot of fun to be there. And when you talk about striking first, that's what made me think of it, Trey. Striking first. I mean, that was the opening kickoff, and it was 7-0, and then Chicago barely scored again. So yeah, I got Kansas City. Trey said he's got Tampa Bay striking first, but he still got Kansas City. He probably has you have Kansas City winning but not covering.
Oh, they're gonna cover. It's not gonna even be a close game.
What do you say?
It's not gonna even be a close game.
You said it won't be a close game?
Touchdown win.
Oh, so they will cover.
The spread is 3 points though.
So he's saying they will cover.
They will cover, yeah. It's gonna be a 2 touchdown win though.
So he's
Wow.
So he's saying Chiefs minus 13, he'll take that bet.
Dang.
Because he's got him winning 14. Okay. Rod, who you have?
That's a big number, man.
Give me an adequate prediction, Rod.
31-28.
The Raiders are gone.
27-13. Final.
Wow. I got all right. I'm not betting, so this doesn't really mean anything. But I would hate to bet this game because Tom Brady. Just think about, man, how it's really gonna go. The offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs is dismantled with that loss to the left tackle last week. The right tackle now plays left tackle. The right guard now plays right tackle. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive ends had a field day versus the Packers. So I'm gonna have my eyes on that front four. If you can get to Pat Mahomes without blitzing, that evens things out. Tampa Bay has a very good chance of shocking the world and beating the Kansas City Chiefs. I want the Chiefs to win, but I am not betting against Tom Brady in those circumstances. Okay. Playing at their home stadium, not having their own fans, not using the cannon when they score, having people there that are first responders is cool. I think it's a good gesture, but I believe there'll be enough fans in the stands to make it feel like a real game. Tom Brady got them boys right. I heard them guys in the locker room crying after the game last week, and Tom Brady was like, "What you crying for? We got one more to go." And that little bitty nugget of experience that he's sharing with those boys, they're gonna be playing at a certain level that will give them enough ammunition to shock the world. So I got the Bucks +3, which means the Chiefs might win, but it will be within 3 points. So I'm not betting, but I would not be surprised if Tom Brady pulls this thing out. I want Pat Mahomes to win. I don't want Tom Brady to get 7 because then I'm going to have to hear he's better than LeBron. He's better than Jordan. He's the best sports athlete of all time. I don't want to hear that.
Hey, so you need to stop cursing too. What do you like? What does 7 rings have to do with a guy who's got 4? Like, why are you bringing him up?
That's what they're going to be saying.
Well, that don't have nothing to do with nothing.
Why?
We got 5. Because we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
They're doing it already, man. My boy kept saying that. They're going to say he's better, the best athlete of all time, and he can't even run. I'm like,
Yeah, so listen, I listen to a podcast called the Joe Budden Podcast, and boy, does Maul disgust me sometimes. Maul, I would say shout out to you, but disgusting. You said that the other day. Tom Brady, greatest athlete. Like, it's hard enough for you to say greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, greatest NFL player of all time, because it's not. You can say greatest quarterback, and I will stop arguing with you because he has a very compelling argument. Okay, he's got 6 of them out of 10.
That's where I leave that.
Right? But when you say greatest athlete of all time for a guy who's run for 1 first down in his entire career, like you sound like a buffoon. And I'm not talking to anybody on this podcast because you guys didn't say it.
Yeah,
but
he has 7 rings. Yeah.
What? Greatest athlete of all time?
If that's the case, Bill Russell is the greatest athlete of all time.
Right.
But that's the narrative. They're trying to set it up already to say it. I mean,
and I struggle with that. But at least when you have someone who has to run up and down a court for a living, it's a more compelling argument than an immobile quarterback. In a system with great weapons, in a situation that was tailor-made. As far as athletes go, Tom Brady is probably in the 10th percentile of current quarterbacks, not the 90th percentile, and definitely not tops as far as athleticism is concerned. No,
he's a race car driver. I mean, He does what he does well. He sits back there and throws the ball. I think sports team member. It should be a sports team glue guy. Like, he wins wherever he goes. But if you put him on a sorry team, would it be the truth? You put LeBron James on a sorry team, they go to the playoffs. They almost go to the championship. So it's a little bit different. I just know the media is setting this thing up for a Tom Brady right off into the sunset. Greatest
what they want.
Sports figure, blue eyes, Caucasian, good looking, doesn't eat meat, vegan, all that good stuff is going to be right there for everybody to feed off of. And it's going to drive us crazy because we know that it's not true.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So can we just shut Dietrich down real quick? Listen, dude.
Texans down.
We're going to stop talking about the Texans, okay? So, all right. That's fine. They weren't going to pay him. It doesn't matter. Not? Like, if you're in win now, that's the other thing. Why not? And if you're in win now mode, you got Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, JJ Watt. Like, let's go.
Pay him.
Let's go. You brought in Brandon Cooks. Hey, Dietrich, I'm gonna let you know right now. I don't want Brandon Cooks on our team, okay? So don't you be out there advocating for Brandon Cooks to come to San Francisco. Okay?
By all means.
Goodness gracious. All right. I have a question for you guys about DeAndre Hopkins. Let me ask you this. Chiefs 35-21 says Dietrich. I said 33-21. I got a question for you guys.
And I got 48-45 Chiefs. Track meet.
Damn. All right. Here's my question. It always rains, though. It's probably going to rain. Did you guys check the weather?
Florida?
Here's my question. Is it possible that if Deshaun Watson stays in Houston, that he becomes Damian Lillard? And I mean current Damian Lillard, although Portland looks like they may actually make a run this year. Does he become Damian Lillard, like just too good for his market? Too good, like really outperforming. What am I trying to say?
Well, Dame wants to stay, though.
I get what you're saying, but
Dame wants to be there.
Already too big for his market.
Yeah, well, yeah, he wants to stay there, and so take that part out of it, because before Deshaun wanted to stay in Houston. He wanted to stay, but he wanted you to get him some pieces. So what I'm saying is Deshaun Watson, or is there a parallel between Deshaun Watson in Houston and Damian Lillard in Portland, where you have guys who could, guys who are all-stars now, or, Pro Bowlers now, who could be greats, but their teams just never wind up going far enough in the playoffs. That's what I mean.
Yeah, he can end up in limbo if he stays.
All right.
I mean, you figure Warren Moon and his success with the Houston Oilers got to a certain point, and he had weapons, just never really had defense to go with it. So he goes down in history as a guy who just threw a lot of yards, threw for a lot of yards, and was well, Pro Bowl decorated. And I think what we're seeing with Bradley Beal and Damian Lillard, these superstar guys in these markets or these areas or these franchises that are not going to do what's right for their superstar to be successful. We will see that, but that's why Deshaun Watson is getting in front of it before it becomes him too.
Yeah. So thank you for that, guys. So here's my plea to you, Mr. Watson. Please come on down. All right. Come on over. Come on over. Listen, I'll tell you this. If you come down, I'll set it up so that you can hang out with Mookie. Let some of that little championship drip fall off on you.
Almost got through the show without saying Mookie.
Mookie.
Mookie! We're not going through it without it. All right, so that was pretty quick on the Super Bowl. So we all say the Chiefs will win, but
don't bet the house.
So here's the thing. When you say shock the world, and my struggle is that it's Tampa Bay -3, and with Kansas City being the home team, even though they're on the road, they give you 3 points for being at home or being the home team. So they're basically calling it a draw or a push or whatever that betting term is. Trey, a pick'em. That's what it is. They're basically calling it a pick'em. Would it really be shock the world?
It's not.
Mr. Cobbs? If
I know it's not because they set it up. He shocked the world, so it looks better for Tom Brady. Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes, the baby goat. I was looking at the Madden simulations for my show on Tuesday, and they're coming out Bucks. They got up the Bucks winning by 2 touchdowns, like the Chiefs only scoring 13 points because that pass rush is going to get to Patrick Mahomes without blitzing. So, and that's a video game, so it's not true.
Well, this is a video game too. This Wayman wish that Watson to the Raiders. That's also a video game and not happening. So, no, sir.
Because let me tell you, if Mahomes wins, they are not going to say that Mahomes beat the best quarterback out there. They're not. But if Tampa wins, they're going to say Tom Brady is the best quarterback out there.
Yeah,
Of course.
so I guess to your point, they would say Patrick Mahomes beat Tom Brady on the decline,
Exactly. They want to set it up like that.
even though they're not saying that right now. Like that. Yeah, that's all right. Fair enough. Now listen.
The Bucks safety's back. Are they? Is Winfield back? They definitely need Winfield on the field. If Winfield is on the field, the Bucks. I'm pretty comfortable with them winning this game.
Are you comfortable? That's adequate. If Winfield is back, then
wait. You gave a big score. What was the score you gave?
Me? 31-28.
31-28. What did you say, AC?
33-21.
Okay.
So I said 48-45.
48-45. Okay, gotcha.
It says
let me respond to Wayman. Oh, he texted me. So wait, this is how it works. It's the team with the best record is the home team. And so that's the Chiefs. It depends on who gets there. So it's in Tampa, but that doesn't mean that the NFC is the home team. It's whoever has the best record.
All right, so here's the injury report.
They're both, like, for instance, 13-3. I don't know what they do I don't know how they determine the home team. Maybe it's a coin flip.
So injury report, Rodney. AB's back. Levante Davis back. Jordan Whitehead is back. And Antoine Winfield is back. They had limited, but coach said they look good. That means they're playing Super Bowl. They're playing.
They need Winfield.
Okay. Right, Wayman, 28-24. Who you got?
JPP didn't practice,
but he's playing.
Yeah, he's playing.
He'll be licking his chops, and whatever is bothering him will be fixed before
just fine.
Sunday. If he sees a rookie offensive tackle or he sees somebody,
he's gonna see a right tackle playing left tackle. He's gonna have a field day.
It's a wrap.
Isn't he the one that blew his hand off at a firework?
Yeah.
Oh.
Does AB get a touchdown pass?
And he dances. Yep.
AB didn't show up last game.
AB was hurt.
Hold on. Exactly. They got to let him show out.
AB's gonna do the Junebug challenge.
Let's see. So Dietrich is giving us some information. So it looks like I was wrong about that, Wayman.
Conferences?
Well, according to Dietrich, so I'll look it up. But he's saying that it does rotate. So you might be right about Tampa being the being the home team. And if Tampa is the home team and it's Tampa Tampa +3, then
they should go all pewter. All pewter versus all red.
That means it's really
everybody's playing. All right.
Plus. That means it's really Tampa +6 because they give you 3 points for being at home. Goodness gracious!
Even during the pandemic.
Tampa +6, huh? Okay.
I'm a diehard Raider. Those computer uniforms are cold.
Hey, listen. The last time Tampa Bay was in the Super Bowl, I was there, and I was very happy for everyone but the head coach. Everyone but the head coach. Because the head coach was really the Raiders coach. But he took Tony Dungy's job and won Tony Dungy's first Super Bowl before Tony Dungy won it. with Indy. All right, moving on. So we're good with NFL. Anything else? All right, let's see. They need to bury Chad Wheeler. Bury him and ban him. And I don't care in which order. Okay, he should not come back from this.
Exactly.
No matter how the young lady, no matter how the sister backpedals, we need this dude down and done. Okay.
If he does, which team's gonna sign him? The Raiders.
The Patriots.
Yeah, he's definitely he's definitely following
people who
have
been in trouble.
Nah, he's gonna go hang out with Ricky Incognito. He's a Raider. Why not, Rod? Why? Tell me why.
Patriots a receiver who got drunk the week before and fell asleep in his car. They signed Dante Stallworth. Who else? They've signed.
Did they sign Leonard Little?
Antonio Brown. They've signed everyone who's been in trouble with the law.
Wait, what'd you say about Antonio Brown signing with the Raiders? I didn't hear you. Oh,
no, New England signed.
Oh,
the trouble with Antonio Brown came after the Raiders, brother. After.
Y'all gave him life, but
all that stuff came after.
Hey, listen, this is what I want to know before we get to Elaine Williams. This is what I want to know. Trey, what kind of investment do you have in Antonio Brown? The world wants to know.
No, man, he's a good.
No, dude,
he's a good athlete.
Before you flex on us, the way that you rode for that dude to go, you don't even care about Tampa. You didn't even want him to go to Philly. You let him go to Tampa. Explain yourself.
I'm gonna tell you, Antonio Brown is the Floyd Mayweather of football.
Whoa!
Everybody hates the dude.
Floyd Mayweather.
They want to see.
You're cursing.
Tell me you didn't watch what's the HBO thing that he does that Floyd was doing? What was it called?
I didn't watch it.
Was it 24? I want to say 24/7.
Oh, 24/7. Yeah, leads up to the fight.
Yeah, the 24/7. Everybody.
I watch all of them.
Right. Everybody that did.
Remember, I did a feature on Floyd for King Magazine. I personally love Floyd's career.
I love Floyd.
With Antonio Brown.
Man, forget Floyd Mayweather.
That's fine. I mean, I'm not getting paid by him. But what do you have to do with Antonio Brown?
More people that wanted Floyd to do bad watch 24/7. People paid for his pay-per-views to try to see him lose. People like the controversy that Antonio Brown.
He's undefeated and he's never been traded.
What?
Let me tell you this.
And that's the case.
Check this out. Let Antonio Brown score
a Hall of Fame.
And watch what they talk about the next day. Let him score in the Super Bowl. Watch the main thing people are talking about the next day.
I think it's a good redemption story.
Here's my poll. I'm reeling you in, Trey. All right, so listen. That's fine. Great redemption story. I have nothing against Antonio Brown. I hope that he didn't do the things that he was accused of as far as.
Oh, he did that stuff.
All right.
That ain't the question.
All right.
The question is he going to do it again?
Right.
So look, I gotta post some of this stuff. So Wayne is saying that my feature on Floyd should be called I Can't Read. that is actually hilarious, Wayman. It wasn't called that. That's funny as hell.
Yeah, those t-shirts, mate. I can't read.
Trey.
Me either.
So you're talking about a Hall of Fame boxer, 100% on everybody's top 10 list, right? Floyd. He's the GOAT. I think that's a tad bit far. I still think it's Muhammad Ali, but okay. So top 10 boxer of all time, never lost. And then you say, hold on, and then you don't even say Terrell Owens or fucking Randy Moss or even Des Bryant. You say Antonio Brown is Floyd Mayweather? Like I'm confused, brother. I am so confused.
He means in the hated realm of being hated. Well, T.O. was hated. Yeah, T.O.
But Antonio wasn't hated.
He was misunderstood.
Like Keyshawn Johnson.
He just kind of worked everybody's nerves.
Keyshawn was
all right, so
T.O. was hated.
Oh, here's a good topic for you, AC. Most hated, unwarranted hated athlete. So we're talking AB, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss. Who else is hated? Mayweather. Who else do we hate? I mean, we don't hate them, but they get hate.
So now, of the list you just gave,
Kaepernick,
Kobe.
Well, Kaepernick. So it's Kaepernick. It's Kaepernick.
Enemy
so
number
unwarranted
hate.
But if you take Kaepernick out of that, I got to go with Randy Moss. What did he ever do wrong?
He quit on the Raiders.
When he walked off the field.
He quit on the Raiders the whole season.
Oh, see, I never watched the Raiders.
And he put
like he pulled his pants down
and wiped his butt with the goalpost.
But that stuff came late.
Yeah,
but they were putting stuff on him long before that. When he told those corporate people to get up out of his seat on the plane, that's when it started.
Wait, LeBron, Steph Curry.
Wait. Listen. So first he says T.O. was more hated. I agree with that. But then look at this. This is funny. And, Dietrich has been taking an L today, but Dietrich makes his return.
Why do people hate Steph Curry?
Yeah, well, including, let me, right there.
I don't hate Steph Curry. Where do you put
that? An angle to Cobbs.
I love Steph Curry. I don't hate Steph Curry.
He's not clutch.
Oh, saying he's not clutch is not hating. I say he's great, but he ain't made no clutch shots.
You're right. Just a clutch career, though. I got you.
He's crazy. All the hated people.
And LeBron is not hated.
So well, hold on. LeBron. So there is LeBron hate. And let's break it down. Right.
Jordashians.
I think when you look at a situation like I've never hated LeBron. I just haven't celebrated LeBron like most of the world. Right.
Perfect way to put it.
Okay, thank you. I'll stop there then.
Why wouldn't you not celebrate LeBron?
Because they were saying he was better than Kobe.
Yeah, and Magic. Before he did anything.
They're saying the same thing about Luka. They're saying Luka. Anybody they tab as the next, people start hating.
I don't give a fuck what they say about Luka, dog. He could be the next Rodney, and then you make me mad because he's not even that. But no, not doing that. Shout out to Vladi Divac.
Check this out. All the hated people, why they the black people?
Easy. The same reason the little white kid won't pick a black doll to play with. It's
so
ingrained.
Because we don't stay mad long enough at white people who do stuff like that. Like, if anything, the Phillies receiver should have been the most hated.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Riley Cooper.
But we didn't stay mad at him. It was kind of like
McNabb was okay with it.
Well, we just kind of expect that. So it is what it is.
So
Mike came out talking, oh, you know what? He's just misunderstood. Let's just forget about it.
This is the most hated player in the NFL probably in the last 20 years. By far. Ndamukong Suh.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so?
He's dirty, but everybody laughed at that. Like he's
okay. Hold on. Let me. All right.
Special need.
Hold on. Let me again. Fingers out.
He's stomping out there.
Again. How about this one?
Now you get warm. You get warm.
Nah, yeah. Perfect.
My bad on that.
Everybody hate Perfect.
Well, you know what? But his teammates love him.
They love him because he's on your team.
Well, and Ndamukong Suh's teammates love him too. But let me throw this at you because you said just the black. So let me throw something at you.
Damn, we used to hate the white dude that spit at J.J. Stokes in his face. What was his name? The guy that spit in Stokes' face.
Oh yeah, that fucking Denver Bronco motherfucker.
Don't start gangbanging there, partner.
Oh, listen, I got it right.
Look. I can't even remember his name.
No, I do. He played because he's a 49er. He's a fucking 49er great. But then he went to fucking Denver. It's Bill Romanowski.
Yeah, it is.
Romanowski. Yeah.
He's a Trump supporter.
We know him. But yes, Wayman. There you go. So this is what I wanted to say about Wayman. I think this is the same as the LeBron thing.
Tom Brady.
People do love to hate Brady, but I think that, and you know, y'all can take my hat off if you want. When you talk about compelling arguments, boy, does Brady have a more compelling argument to be the football GOAT than LeBron does to be the basketball GOAT. And it's not Brady.
Actually,
but I'm just saying it's a more compelling argument when you live in the finals and win. I mean, you live in the Super Bowl and win versus living in the finals and losing more than you win. And then you have someone who, you know, went and never lost and absolutely changed the game of football. Jerry Rice is the greatest of all time. But, you know, that's subjective.
Well, the Brady thing is with the Patriots coupled with that. We hated the Patriots. That was like America's white.
But I don't think but I argue that we didn't care about the Patriots until it became the obsession with Brady. Because here's the thing. I told you guys, I chose the Patriots over the Rams, and I was right. Because it was like your annoying little cousin finally made it to the Super Bowl, but they have a great defense, so they can actually probably beat the greatest show on turf. And they did. And nobody hated the Patriots then. Then you got the Tuck rule, and then you have everything that compounded. It was like, oh, Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time, and Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, and they don't have any teammates, and they make everybody better, and they do it by themselves, and it just became annoying as hell. Go ahead, Rod.
Then they became Trump.
The media. No, I was raising my hand like, well, no, I hated it from the beginning. The media made us hate the Patriots. I mean, like everything they did was just so perfect. Well, you grossly underpaying players. That's perfect. You're getting rid of them, you know, when they still are good. That's perfect. You know, Brady was like the poster child of all of that. And he just so happened to get the hate that was directed at the team in general. He was the face. And they made him seem like he was just such an angel. And everyone knew, like, every time they won a Super Bowl or won some big game, there was always some kind of controversy behind it. So a lot of this stuff, a lot of the hate is brought on by these people. Like Kaepernick, his wasn't brought on by himself. He got hate because of what he stood for. And I don't think Kobe really brought hate on himself. He was just a cat that didn't party with everybody and didn't hang out. You can't hate him for that.
Well, I think.
But the rest of them, and I will even go so far as to kind of add Moss in there, because I probably would have told a corporate dude to get up out my seat. Like, this is where I sit. And just because you get on our plane doesn't mean you just get to plop your behind in my seat.
So here's my. I don't want to let people off the hook, right? So here's my thing with Kobe, and I think you guys are. You're misled because you think that I'm going to say something negative about Kobe, and I'm not. I don't think it was just him not hanging out. I think that Shaquille helped perpetuate the fraud, that this was a fucked up dude.
True.
And so I think that had something to do with it too. Right. You know, the perception of and of course Kobe was just fucking better than everybody. So you add all that shit together. So Dietrich, first of all, let me shout out Elaine Williams. What up, Elaine? I meant to shout you out at like 13 minutes ago, but what's up? Dietrich, yes, people do sometimes hate perennial winners, but other times they don't. But listen, the LeBron thing, and he's a black athlete and one of the great athletes of all time. Let's be real. But people have been making him the GOAT way before he had anything close to GOAT credentials. So that's always been a problem for me. That's why I've always said, please, let's just not call people future Hall of Famers and all that. Let's just let them play their careers. I don't mind an article like the one that came out that said, let's chart everybody in baseball right now who's on the cusp of the Hall of Fame and who, if they stay on the right path, they'll get there. That kind of thing is fine. But when you introduce someone as a future Hall of Famer, that's problematic for me. And okay, I get it with Tom Brady, you can't argue it at all. But when you look at Deshaun Watson, you say, okay, if you stay on that path, you're going to get there. Patrick Mahomes, if you stay on that path, you're going to get there. And then you say Aaron Rodgers, look at the numbers he's put up, look at what he's done, even with only having one ring, but one ring more than Dan Marino. only having one ring, he's probably got the credentials. Drew Brees, he's probably got the credentials. I don't know what the discussion is about Phillip Rivers, but we've been bombarded with future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers since Brett Favre left Green Bay. Like, let them play. I never said future Hall of Famer Kobe Bryant, even though I know Kobe Bryant is the third best player of all time behind Magic and Kareem. I never said future Hall of Famer. I knew he would get there. I didn't have to. But when you say future Hall of Famer Dietrich for LeBron, when he's one ring in, and championships do matter in this era, and he's passing the ball in crunch time or clutch time, as Anthony Cobbs wants to call it. He's passing out. He's kicking out to Kevin Love. Like, come on, man. Seriously. Or whoever it was. Like, it wasn't even Kevin Love. Who was it the first time in Cleveland? I can't even remember that team. What's the guy with the hair?
I forgot. But you said baseball, and I just stopped and thought about it. Barry Bonds was probably more hated because that's quote unquote America's game, and to go past.
But he was hated for doing the same thing that
Mark
McGwire did.
Right. They didn't hate Mark McGwire. They were just disappointed. They hated Barry Bonds because he was passing up the great Babe Ruth.
Well, so here's my thing. So yeah, Dietrich Verjao. That's a close spelling too. It's Verjao. Anderson Verjao. Thank you. I don't know. I think that they hate Mark McGwire just as much. And Mark McGwire his thing was the home run record first. And then Mark McGwire was talking shit about people who took PEDs. So I think it's actually worse for Mark McGwire, just because he was hypocrisy at its finest, or at its least finest, however you want to look at it. But that's an interesting one, because Barry Bonds put up great numbers before he allegedly, before the transformation, and then he put up otherworldly numbers. But I think he would have had a Hall of Fame career even without the bump. And so that's what Hall of Fame voters have to determine, like, once they seriously start considering him. But I wonder, does Bonds get in? And I think he gets in before McGwire, who I think gets in before Sosa, but we'll see what happens.
I think he's going to get in before McGwire because he has better numbers than McGwire. I don't think it's because he's hated less than McGwire, because there's a smaller number of people who hate McGwire versus Bonds. Bonds is hated everywhere.
This is an easy one, Wayman. Jose Canseco did not put up Hall of Fame numbers, so it doesn't matter.
He had a few good seasons.
Yeah,
and he was a snitch.
Well, I don't think him being a snitch is going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame, to be fair. But Canseco is not a Hall of Famer. Like, he's more so a wrestler. Like, he's just an entertainer who has some power, who has some pop.
Yeah.
And I liked him when they were, together in Oakland. Speaking of Oakland, shout out to the greatest, to my favorite, not the greatest, because Willie Mays is the greatest, but my favorite player, Ricky Henderson. A lot of great stories from him in Oakland, such as when he saw a first baseman years later. He says, "Man, I used to play with a first baseman who looked just like you. What's your name, man?" And he said, "Hi, my name is John Olerud." And he was like, "Yeah, he looked just like you." And he was like, "Yeah, Ricky, it was me." Ricky didn't even know who the fuck he played with, man. Ricky Henderson is a special case, and he is my favorite player of all time. And you guys know who's second.
I do agree with Dietrich on that last comment that the writers hated Bonds because he didn't give them stories and interviews and all that kind of stuff. So that has a lot to do with him not being in there. You got to treat people good while you playing.
Yeah. So all right. So let me say this.
Time out.
Yeah.
How do I use this coupon? Do I have to type in Eats-Anthony C?
Yeah, just if you can't. Oh, you're typing it, so you can't copy and paste. Yeah, type it just as it exists. Go ahead, Anthony.
I'm just trying to see because it's not letting me do it. Say it won't work on this device on my phone, so I might have to do it on the website.
Are you talking to us?
I don't know. I did it on the phone. So you put it in under promo code and apply code?
Yeah. So I'll figure it out. Go ahead.
Okay. So having been a baseball writer, I'm in a lot of those rooms, especially during that era, where I was like, covering the Dodgers every day, and so covering the Major League Baseball. Yeah, there are people who don't give good talk and they still wind up in the Hall of Fame. So I like that. That's not keeping Barry Bonds out. Now, if you say that's the argument for most hated, I mean, you can throw that in there, but McGuire wasn't great with. And I'm gonna go back to it. McGuire wasn't great with the media either. Like that dude was aloof. Like he like find some sound bites on Mark McGuire. And when you did get something, you had him like bashing people who took PEDs, and come to find out that he's allegedly one of the main ones. Like I don't know, man. Just the hypocrites just bother me. But Yeah. So most hated Dietrich, no. Like nobody cared enough about Canseco for him to be like that hated. Baseball players hated him because of what Cobb said. He told tales, or he told on them. He was a tattletale, but he wasn't like mad hated. Ricky Henderson, yay!
They don't even hate A-Rod anymore. And for a while he was hated, but I guess he kind of turned into a media darling and dated the right people and showed up to red carpets.
Look at you. And invested in baseball. Shout out to Elaine Williams, whose family friend is Ricky Henderson. And, my second home, the Bay, Oaktown. I was Oaktown adjacent when I lived in Richmond. Who's up for the Hall of Fame next season? Who you talking about, Bonds? Who you talking about, Wayman? Like, give us some context, brother. Yeah, so moving on. Private chat. Trey went somewhere, I'm sure. Trey disappearing. Got to get my door.
He looks like he's sitting in Candy Burrs' sex palace back there.
Candy Burrs
in the black wall.
Hey, speaking of Candy Burrs, Brianna is really convinced that Candy can't sing, and we have arguments about that. Like, she's just a songwriter. Nah, she's
a great songwriter. She's a okay-ish singer. Okay. I heard her.
We're not taking down legends on the collective podcast. Okay, we're not doing that.
I'm with Bree. She sounds good in the group, not by herself.
Wow.
The code don't work. The code don't work for your boy.
Sounds like really? What did it say though? Did you mute it?
Yeah. It just saying it won't work on this device. So I think I've already used this app.
But does it literally say it won't work on this device?
Yeah.
That's weird, right?
Yeah.
What are you using?
iPhone.
Yeah, that's weird. That sounds like Rodney taking shots. I don't know. I'm sorry, man. Well, then you try to use the first one I sent you.
I tried them both.
Yeah, that's weird because Dietrich Hey, so we like a fan like Dietrich. I mean, contributed. Wait, is that the whole thing though?
I think that is though.
That's the first one you sent.
Okay.
And that's the same.
Wait, show it again. Promotions cannot be applied. Show me again.
Promotions cannot apply using your current device. So I must have used this app, but I never set this app up before.
Waving is crazy.
Let me see.
Masked singer.
So you went to promotions and put enter code?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what, Lester? I'm gonna have to agree with that one. That sounds about it. That kind of sums it up. Yeah, because T-Boz is a great writer too.
Wait, okay, hold on a second. What? First of all, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. What do you mean a poor man's T-Boz? Wait a minute. What does that even mean? First of all, can you spell Candy's name right? If we're gonna be doing this, you got to spell her name right. Why? What does that mean? A poor man's T-Boz?
You know
What
how
exactly
T-Boz
are you?
sings.
I don't
T-Boz
want to
is
get.
not necessarily the greatest singer in the world. She
But
has
why would Candy be the poor man's T-Boz? As a like, if he's gonna say this, why wouldn't T-Boz be the poor man's Candy? I'm confused.
Who made more money?
By a mile, Candy. Like, that's not even close. That's why I'm wondering, like, where he's going with this. More success.
Who's more famous? T-Boz. Candy wasn't famous until she wasn't really a star.
All of hers, where T-Boz didn't.
T-Boz didn't get paid, but she was way more well known because TLC was well liked worldwide.
T-Boz would have been more wealthy. She just didn't get her check.
Nobody trying to see Escape.
No. Stop it, Rodney. I think you better do your research. It's not even close between Candy and T-Boz. I hear what you're saying about popularity, Cobb. So I'll take that if that's what Mr. Lester means. That from a popularity standpoint, if we're talking about careers, though, like actual record sales and all of that, and then the success of the groups, you can put them 1-to-1, but you can't say Candy is a poor man's T-Boz. And then we talk about that money, it's not even close, Rod. It's not even close.
Just said T-Boz didn't get her money.
If T-Boz, let me say, even if Pebbles paid T-Boz, it wouldn't be close. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know about that.
How do you not know about it?
TLC was breaking sales records, not Escape.
Yes, Escape was, and look at all that else that Candy and Rodney. Do you know
on
what
TLC level?
Do you know what Candy has done? I don't think you do.
TLC one,
because I didn't say Tiny. I didn't say Tiny. I said Candy.
I didn't say Tiny.
I know. So you got Escape and Candy's writing career.
None of Escape songs made that kind of money. It's the songs that she wrote for other groups.
That's and those other groups were TLC. So T-Boz got paid because T-Boz helped write the album.
Right. You do understand that the writer is going to make more money than the performer, right?
She helped write half the album. And she sung
one album? Okay, so here's my point. You don't know Candy's resume if you're only talking about a TLC album. That's what I'm saying.
I get that, AC.
You could say T-Boz maybe had more money than Pebbles.
He said he meant poor man's by popularity and looks.
Shots fired by Anthony Cobb. Okay.
I'm just saying though, there's no way we know that Candy wrote, and writers get paid way more than performers. It's already known. But if I'm a pick, when they were both just artists, you got T-Boz way before you picked Candy. You didn't even know who the lead singer was for Escape.
Well, no, I knew it wasn't. I did.
She was.
I knew it wasn't Candy. It's okay though.
She was the cutest girl in the busted up group.
Fair. And T-Boz. Okay, and T-Boz was the least attractive in a very attractive group. So there you go. You're right, Anthony Cobbs. And Mr. Lester, I like that argument. Rodney's nuts about the money. Rodney is nuts.
Come on, man. Those TLC albums were doubling Escape albums. I'm not saying Escape albums weren't selling.
You're still talking about TLC and Escape. You're missing the point. Who got more money out of Dallas, Austin, and if T-Boz had gotten completely paid?
Who got more money? What?
Out of Dallas, Austin, and if T-Boz had gotten all the money due her, who would have more money?
Dallas, Austin. He's the producer.
So what I'm saying is, it's not just group versus group.
I get that. But what I'm saying is that adds to her total because she was getting more money from more record sales. To increase the value of what you to increase the value of what you're talking about for Candy. That's what I'm saying.
But okay, listen, I love you, Rod. I feel like you feel like Candy only wrote for Escape and
not at all. Neither one of them did. Neither one of them only wrote for their own group. Both of them wrote for other people.
Okay. Well, somehow
Candy's songs for TLC were bigger.
So here's what I'm saying, Rod. Let's go with the Forbes list.
Elaine said y'all tripping.
Here's what I'm asking you. Shout out to Elaine. If the net worth is 30x, are you saying that's all because T-Boz was robbed as a member of TLC? That's extreme.
I'm saying that gave, if you're putting them together right now, that gives Candy a huge head start.
Okay, so it's 40 million versus 1.5 million according to Forbes. Are you still making this argument?
But you can't compare them because she didn't get paid.
Okay.
She didn't get paid for years. Escape, you never heard Escape have that problem where they didn't get paid.
Yes, we did. But it's okay. We're gonna move on.
Gross in a gross way like that? No.
Well,
no.
Okay.
There's a difference between I was supposed to get 5 million and I only got 2.5 versus I was supposed to get 10 million. I only got a Suzuki Sidekick. That's a huge difference.
So call it 11.5 million versus 40 million. It's still not even close. Give her the 10 million. It's 11.5 versus 40.
That 40 wasn't when she stopped recording. That 40 is now.
I don't say anything about stop recording. That's my point.
But you add in the TV shows and all that kind of stuff. I'm speaking more when they were writing, when they were singing, and when T-Boz stopped and Candy stopped.
She's still writing. She's still writing. That's my point.
I got you.
That's why I had a tough time with T-Boz versus Candy in that regard, because Candy will go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, T-Boz probably will too, because of TLC, because of that whole thing. But outside of that, Candy has a whole additional career outside of Escape that pads those pockets, and that's what I was saying.
Yeah, I got what you're saying.
All right. Well, but in fairness, Elaine, Rod was saying, and I was saying too, okay, give Rod the extra money that she didn't make, and I'm saying it's still not close. But I don't want to argue about other people's money. Let's argue about our own. By the way, networks, if you want to pick up the Collective podcast, because it's not no or. You want to pick up the Collective podcast, and you want to talk about AC Sports Live, and you want to talk about the Sucker Punch podcast, and you want to talk about 1585, holla at Principles. We are interested in entertaining conversations. So holla. All right. Who would be considered more of an icon? This is a very interesting one. Mr. Lester wants to keep this conversation going. I would say that maybe worldwide it would be T-Boz, and maybe in the States, if you're talking about today, it's probably Candy. If you're talking about when the groups were going, so let's say when TLC was hot, I don't think there's a question, because we didn't even necessarily know. I knew their names. We didn't necessarily know everybody's names of Escape, and it was like group, right? But everybody had their lane in TLC, and they were very clearly defined. Chili was the singer, Left Eye was the rapper, and then T-Boz was the short haircut, could sing but had the raspy voice when she needed to, the sexy voice, like could bring it all together. So they were each 1/3 of that phenomenal group. I don't know that people in Escape had equal parts like that. So I'd say probably T-Boz. What do you guys say?
Well, I mean, with Escape, that goes back to Brianna's part. The two sisters were clearly head and shoulders singing wise above the other two. Tiny and Candy were great for harmonizing in chorus, but the lead singer, the chubby one, I'm not sure if that's she was chubby at the time. She was clearly the lead singer, even though the other girls kind of didn't want that to happen. Her voice was head and shoulders above everybody else.
So let's give names. Rodney's talking about Tamika. I think Tamika and Latasha were pretty equal.
But I was thinking that was Tiny's name too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Look at you, Rod. You know the names and the spellings and all that. That's funny.
I follow Escape closely.
So you're more than just adequate when it comes to knowing singing groups, but
We're going to stay on this adequate word.
Well, if we stand on clutch, we definitely stand on adequate. All right, moving on. I told you guys we were more than a sports podcast. Where else can you go talk about LeBron? Where else can you talk about Floyd Mayweather being compared to Antonio Brown, and then also talk about T-Boz and Candy, the collective podcast?
There you go. Somebody asked about courtside Karen. Are we getting on that?
That was Elaine. So let's go back to Elaine. Let me post it. Where did it go? Got a lot of comments. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Go ahead. Start talking. I'm going to find it. All right. Talk about it. Is this the LeBron verbal altercation that we're talking about?
Man.
React.
I didn't know people got tossed when there were only 1,000 fans in the stadium, but I thought they were all, first responders, but I guess they
Rondo's brother got tossed in the bubble.
Yeah. There are 10 stadiums from what I read that allow fans, and they will allow, I guess, between 10 and 20% of the stadium capacity. So they had 1,700 fans that night in Atlanta. And apparently the husband of courtside Karen was popping off at LeBron, and LeBron said something to him, and she decided she had to defend her man.
Yeah, don't talk to my husband.
She jumps up out of her seat and comes down to the front, snatches off her mask, and gives LeBron a piece of her mind. The refs see it. They stop the game, and they say, Karen, you and steroid Stan can get up out of here.
But I don't steroid Stan.
LeBron kept saying your husband's on steroids from what she says. And that made her mad.
Wow.
The truth hurts, huh?
And she got on video saying no one's going to talk to my husband like that. And I felt like if someone was coming at me, my friends would step up and have my back, or they're not true friends. So I was going to defend my man at all costs. She said LeBron called her a gold digger, and that really set her off.
Wow.
I know one thing in Atlanta. You got the Migos and they whole crew at every game. If you watch down, they walking around on the court. they flex that court side like nothing before. I'm like, where y'all keep walking to? They walking back and forth at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, Elaine quoted it correctly at the bottom. That's exactly how LeBron said it.
So were Candy and T-Boz at the game?
Well, if they were, they didn't get kicked out.
Oh, all right. Well, let me go back to this real quick because I want to give Rodney some compelling content for if he has this argument again.
Here we go.
You could say, well, Escape sold 7 million records and TLC sold 85 million, so maybe she should have a little more money. Go with that, Rod. Here, I'm gonna help you out. All right.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Courtside Karen said she was 24. What about the bad apple in the New York hotel that accused the little black boy of stealing her iPhone? She's like 25 and she's from San Diego. Yeah. That was a few weeks back. And luckily it was caught on camera, but the guy from the hotel was disgusting, trying to diffuse the situation. It was just a bad scene. Anthony, what's my man's name? No, let me say it softer. What's the gentleman's name who was murdered by the cop in Ohio in the garage a couple weeks ago? That cop was indicted today for murder.
Not good.
So I was glad to see that. It was disgusting. So the gentleman's name was Andre Hill, and he was allegedly murdered by Adam Coy. Adam Coy was fired within 24 hours, and the chief of police said that it was that the effort by Adam Coy was completely wrong, completely outside of the scope of how he had been trained, and the fact that he didn't even have his body cam on. And the only reason that we saw anything of the body cam was that they have this 1 minute look back, kind of like what we have with Tesla, where with Tesla, if you blow your horn or hit the button, it'll record the past 10 minutes and clip it. So with the body cams, when you hit your button, it will give you the last 1 minute, the past minute as a clip. So luckily he hit it after he murdered the guy, but that clip doesn't give you any audio. So the guy is in a garage at a house party. He's in a garage. Cop tells him to put his hands up. He has his cell phone in the hand and says, I have my phone. He has his other hand up. Cop says, I see a gun in the other hand, and it murders him. And the other cop there said, I never saw a gun. This guy was never a threat. I have no idea why he shot him. And you can see the guy having a breakdown, the officer having a breakdown after he shot him. But luckily he was indicted for murder today. So, yeah.
Well, to add to that, Derek Chauvin is going to trial. The killer of George Floyd. So that's a good thing.
The main killer.
Yeah. The other three are being tried together. They're bothered because they felt like all of them should be tried together. But, you know, of course, Chauvin's attorney is probably going to be happy that he's being tried separately, because then he gets to, you know, worry about one person versus three, I guess. But then now he's got to worry about those three being mad that they're being tried separately and turn on Derek. And apparently other people have been coming forward about Derek Chauvin being abusive and how he has choked out quite a few people. So hopefully justice is done.
Thank you for that. So speaking of that, I want to tell you guys really quickly about a gentleman by the name of Oba Babatunde, who is probably the most underrated actor of all time. Oh, shout out to Cobbs. Oh, let's check the private chat. He had to go. Private chat. Oh, he's switching over. All right, he'll be back. Oba Babatunde was one of the leads in Dreamgirls, the musical on Broadway. Oba Babatunde kept it pushing, and he is a regular on SWAT with Shamar Moore. He's actually Shamar Moore's dad on that show. He was recently on The Rookie and killed it on The Rookie, which is interesting because Michael Beach is on The Rookie and Michael Beach is on SWAT. And so they were together on SWAT, or they're together every week on SWAT, but they were together on an episode of The Rookie. So that was cool. And then Oba Babatunde was on Chicago Med last night. He is just a phenomenal actor. I just want to let you guys know. It's, you know, it may be difficult for you to say his name, but I tweet him quite often when he has these killer performances. Yeah, so I just and so when you look at what's happening on SWAT right now, they're talking about civil unrest. They're talking about the civil unrest in 1992, you know, April 29th, 1992. So there's a lot to unpack in every episode of SWAT, and that's one of the reasons. Like, I always thought Shamar Moore was a clown coming up, but what he's doing on SWAT, and it's his show. He's one of the EPs on it. It's like they're not running from any of these conversations, and it's a show about police. But you know, Shamar Moore became a cop because he wanted to change. In the show, he became a cop because April 29th, 1992 shaped him. You know, when those officers were found not guilty of beating Rodney King, and then the subsequent unrest that happened, that started on Florence and Normandy with the guys that snatched Reginald Denny out and beat him, like that shaped Shamar Moore's character as a man, and it made him want to become a cop instead of becoming a football star, because he wanted to change the culture in the city of Los Angeles. And you find all of that in the show. And then you have Michael Beach, who was who grew up with Shamar Moore's character, and who wound up going to prison. He's got a son that Shamar Moore is taking care of, and now Michael Beach is out of jail, but he's a felon, and the kid is on probation, so they can't live together. Like, so many different aspects. And then the dad is Oba Babatunde, and then Felicia Rashad is the mom. It's like it's dope. It's a dope show, but Oba Babatunde is a killer. I just want to let y'all know. All right, boom, bam.
Can't remember who he is. He's the guy that played in the movie Life with Martin and Eddie Murphy, and he was the guy narrating the story, wheelchair, smoking a cigarette. When he tells the guys when they're sitting there playing cards, and he tells the guys, "Oh, you guys sniffing dope? I know how to get that in here." And one of the other guys say, "Yeah, I don't want none, ass sniffer." You know,
Yeah.
he's the old. He plays the old guy.
I got you.
He's extremely underrated.
And listen, Rod knows a lot of shows. I just want you guys to know, like, he knows every single line from Martin. But that's not so marvelous. He knows every single line from Good Times and Sanford and Son, but Cobbs knows Sanford and Son too. But what's more compelling is that when he talks about the movie Life, that's later than Sanford and Son. That's later than Good Times. That's later than what's George Hemsley's show? Moving on up, The Jeffersons. That's later than The Jeffersons, but Rodney remembers Life because Life brought him back to life. Rodney used to be on the chain gang back in the 30s, and so when he saw the movie Life, it was just breathing fresh air back into his lungs. So shout out to him. I want you guys to if you pray, keep some of my people in your prayers. My guy Simeon Henderson is battling COVID-19 right now. Jason, the one who almost died, has fully recovered. He said he got his lungs back for sure. Brianna just got touched by somebody in her family. That's been, I won't say who, but somebody in her family's got COVID-19, but seems to be doing well. But still, please pray for my people. Let's we're gonna close out soon, but let's have a moment of silence for Cicely Tyson. Anybody else that we need to have a moment of silence for right now?
Not off the top of my head, but definitely Cicely Tyson.
Okay, so let's go with Cicely Tyson and the 432,000 plus deaths from COVID-19. All right, let's have a moment of silence. Cicely Tyson. All right, this is the Collective Podcast. This is episode 47. We are live. We've been doing it live for a few months now. We're approaching episode 52, which will be the 1 year full of episodes. So that's coming. Maybe we'll do something big 5 episodes from now. We'll see what happens. We appreciate you guys tuning in, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube live. We appreciate you watching the replays on either Facebook or YouTube. And we appreciate you listening on the DSPs, whether it be Spotify or Anchor, Apple Music, or any of the others. Thank you. We appreciate you. That being said, we're going to go ahead and go to the closeout unless you guys have anything to add. Anything? All right, we'll let our guest host go first. Anthony Cobbs, T Cobbs, AC Sports Live. Close out.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so my closeout. It's pretty simple, man. We're having a pretty good 2021 so far. Continue to pray for your family. Continue to look out for one another, being positive, supporting Black businesses during this Black History Month. And by the way, Coming to America is free on Amazon Prime right now, and Drumline has just been released on HBO Max. So enjoy you some Black comedy, Black cinema, as I get ready to watch this other Denzel movie. Enjoy yourselves. Be well. AC Sports Live, Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Stop through. Have some fun. 1585 on Friday nights. Come on through. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. Peace out. Appreciate y'all invite, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you for that. You see, I got a room, not a room. I got a screen full of guys who like to flex. So, Trey's always flexing. Annie's a poor sport. Rodney's a flexer. Well, now Cobbs joins them. Cobbs had to tell us that he's live on like 17 different things. That's cool. What is Twitch? I got to take a look at it. I've heard of it. I know that Travis Scott is there, but I don't know. And I know that Anthony Cobbs is there, but I don't know what it is. I got to take a look. I know about Periscope. Let's go with Trey.
Man, yeah, like
wait. Hold on. Sorry. Anthony mentioned Black businesses, Anthony's wife has a black business. She's a black with a business. Trey has 2 black businesses at least. So he's got one. Britt's got one. They probably have more, but he's got 2 that he's gonna tell you about. Not sure what Rodney's doing these days. Oh, Rodney is the original entrepreneur, but I don't know if he promotes it, like what he does at home. So he may not promote it. But then I've got a couple that I want to tell you about. So Trey, at the end of your closeout, talk about home rentals and Sunkist.
All right, man. Just like Cobbs was saying, man, that we're off to a pretty good 2021. Everyone continue to, be safe, wear your mask. If you get the chance to get this vaccine, please get it in your system. I think it's going to do more help than harm. So let's everybody be on the same accord so we can try to get back to the new normal. I don't think it'll ever get back to the way that it was, because even after I'm totally vaccinated, I will probably still walk around with a mask on, and I'm sure AC will have on 2 or 3.
Yep.
So yeah, man. Support Black businesses. That's we really need that. My wife has one. It's called Sunkist. It's activewear. So you can check her out, Sunkist online. During this pandemic, if you're at home a lot, we bring the cinema to you. We bring it, come set up in your backyard. We do everything like if you were at the movie theater at the drive-in. We set up inflatable screens, regular projectors. We do candy tables, welcome tables, everything. We bring it and we come set it up for you, man. So look at Home Rentals #1. Home Rentals #1. On Instagram and check out what we do.
Shout out. All right, what you got, Rod?
All right, man. I just want to say we lost an icon, serious icon last week in Cicely Tyson. There's not even enough time for a full episode to describe what she brought to the table of entertainment and just the game-changing things that she did to pave the way for Black actresses and actresses in general. She lived to 96, was it 96 or 97 years old, and looked flawless doing it. Like, that's, if you're going to go out, that's how you should go out. She was still working when she passed. She was still making movies. That's phenomenal to me. And that's how we should treat life. With that being said, please stay safe. Please, no birthday parties and baby showers and all this other stuff that people are still doing until this thing is under control. I've had someone that I know pass away for like 5 or 6 straight weeks. COVID-related deaths. I just don't want to see another one. Sometimes I just hate even getting on my phone because, or even answering a text because it's someone else has passed away, and I don't want to get to the point where I'm just numb to it, where it just doesn't bother me anymore. That's too much. So stay safe. Hug your children. Hug your spouse, your mom, your dad, whoever's in your life close to you. Be safe. And remember that the struggle keeps going. We are about 3 weeks in from the new president taking over. But for people of color, we are far from finished. We have to put some pressure on to get some things passed before this man leaves office. If you know your local senator, your local congressperson, start there. Your district attorney in your area, start there, write letters, go to city council meetings when they start back opening up to the public, ask questions or tell them what you need in your city, and do things to make your area better. Do things to make it better for your children and your future. And continue to stay tuned in to the Collective Podcast.
Thanks for that, Rod. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Hey, listeners, viewers, please not only like us on Facebook, if you like us, but please subscribe to us on YouTube, and also like us, and also comment on, give us feedback on the episodes. Please do that on YouTube. Like, help us with YouTube, okay? We appreciate that. And shout out to Cicely Tyson and all that she did. Rest in paradise. I'm sure she is in a better place. We gave her a moment of silence, and then Rodney paid tribute to her. Little known about this fella, Rodney Saucier, just a really good guy at heart. And, when you have celebrities that take the time to like do things like take people to the prom and all of that, just to help them out. What you guys don't know is Rodney was one of those people. So before Cicely Tyson was known, she was just an average person in secondary school. And, Rodney was, well known for his time, helping build the Ark and that whole thing. So young Cicely Tyson, wrote a letter to her congressman and asked for her congressman to put her with Rod, and Rod wound up taking her to the prom. And, Rod was a little older then, but, he was doing his good deed. And who knew that, 80 years later, Rod would still be ticking and he'd give a tribute to Cicely Tyson. So shout out to Cicely Tyson. Shout out to Rodney Saucier. Legends, both of them. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you. Boy, being a parent is absolutely amazing. And I got a taste of it once I got a stepchild. And then, I'm 3.5 years in, not a half, I guess 3 years and 2 months into being a father of my blood. And boy, Kayla is amazing. Just watching her development every day, every moment of every day is just absolutely, it's something to behold. So as one of them said, I don't know which one of them it was, but hug your people. Please hug your people, kiss your people. But don't go catch COVID doing it. So even if you have to do it virtually, just let them know you love them via whatever your service is. It's really important. Trey, did you get Pfizer or Moderna? I asked you earlier.
Moderna.
Oh, you got Moderna. That's why you're waiting. Okay. Yeah, me too. Listen, we appreciate you guys joining us every week. This is so important to us. We do it for you guys, and we wanted to go live because we wanted you guys to experience it real time and be able to interact with us. So we're going to stick to this, and we're trying to grow it, and we're going to continue to go live unless we have a compelling reason not to. And at some point, we're going to go live and be in the same room together, but not right now. So listen, be safe. At least investigate being vaccinated if you're opposed to it, or if you're uneducated about it. Like, at least have all the information if you choose not to do it. I have no opinion about Pfizer over Moderna. The one thing that I do know is that with Pfizer, you go back for dose 2 21 days later. From Moderna, which is what Trey and I got, it's 28, and his wife, it's 28 days later. My parents got Pfizer, so they're gonna get theirs second dose on Wednesday, and they got scheduled for that today. So we appreciate you guys. Be safe. Please give 6 feet when you're in line, and understand, like instead of calling people future Hall of Famers, like when it comes to sports, just marvel in the fact that you are seeing greatness. Like, just be cool with that. Like listen, I don't think you guys know what you have when you look at Mookie Betts on a baseball diamond. You don't know. I know, but you're going to come to learn it. But just celebrate the fact that you have that opportunity, whether it's seeing it, feeling it, hearing it. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and on. Bradley Beal, John Wall, Kevin Durant, Steph, Clay, Draymond, and the 1,000 other ones. And then this crap, Luka, Doncic, even Luka. Just feel it, celebrate it, because there was a time in Rodney's day where you could only hear this stuff on the radio. And then when I was in the beginning, when Trey and I were growing up, you had to watch Magic on tape delay. It began to change, but the days of radio, Rodney knows, has come a long way. So just celebrate it. Try not to complain so much. And thank you for tuning in. And boy, Cobb's on a roll. Luka, Trae Young, and LaMelo Ball. He's putting them all in the Hall of Fame because that's what the media is doing. That's what the media is doing. Hey, thank you. Thanks, Anthony, for coming on as a guest host. And then my brothers, Trey and Rod, thank you. Much love. Smush Parker. All right. We are out.